Hey guys, welcome back to Ranger Survival and Fieldcraft. I'm Andrew. Now what I have for you today is a look at the Bushcraft Dity Bag setup. Everything that goes inside Dity Bags that I carry out in the field for bushcraft as well as campcraft or survival. The things we can put in those bags, what they're used for, and we're going to get our cooking on today with a little bit of breakfast while we're out here in the field. Stand by. Alright, so Dity Bag is just fancy speak for leather pouch or some sort of pouch that we put all of our items in, the smaller items, to contain them, keep them safe, and bring them out into the woods with us. This Dity Bag is my sustainment kit, and it's just going to have different items for campcraft. The first on top being some beeswax candles that we can use for a nightlight or to start a fire. Next item is just a 6-foot hank of paracord. We can use paracord for just about anything, campcraft and even firecraft, using it as a bow drill string to actually get a fire going. After that is just a simple diamond sharpening stone with a coarse and fine side to keep our tool sharp. And after that, to go with that sharpening stone, we have just a simple leather strop, and there's some honing compound on this as well. We can use this to definitely finish that knife sharpening and keep our knives honed in the field to process material. And then in a small section of bamboo, corked off with actual corks with some cordage, is just a sewing kit or repair kit to repair clothing as well as tents and tarps while we're outside. One of the most important things to go in this sustainment Dity Bag pouch, again, this is just items to help repair or to facilitate campcraft, is another cutting tool. In this case, we have a case trapper knife, and the best part about this knife is that it is 100% high carbon steel. Obviously, having another cutting tool is incredibly important, and with this folding knife, we have 2 blades used primarily or designed for skinning and cleaning game, which is great to have in our kit. But we can also use this because both blades are high carbon steel. We can use it as an alternate fire starting tool. We just find a hard rock if we're left without everything else, drive some sparks on a char cloth, and we're all set. That last thing on the bottom of this Dity Bag is our millbank bag. That millbank bag, again designed in World War II, we can use to strain and help filter water before we boil it to make it safe to drink. That's our sustainment Dity Bag. It's a different color of leather compared to our other Dity Bags as part of our kit because we can identify it quickly, grab it, and then get whatever tool or item we need out of that bag and use it and then pack it all back up. Next is going to be our Firecraft Dity Bag, all the components to get fire going. Again, in no particular order, that first item and the largest item on top is going to be our tin, but we're focused on what's inside that tin. And what is inside is just a simple magnification lens, a 5-power lens wrapped up in a piece of 100% cotton cloth that we can keep it safe inside that tin. And this lens fits perfectly inside of our char tin, but we can use it for solar ignition along with different material to get a fire going. And then we have the tin itself is our char tin. This is where we're going to put our char material as well as that lens, but notice the small pinhole on the side of the tin itself, and that's where the gas will escape as we char material. Enough room in the tin for char material at the bottom, and then we can just wrap up our lens, place it right on top inside, protect it, and then cap it off, and it's good to go. Next is just a deer tine bearing block we can use with the bow drill friction fire set. After that, a piece of fat wood we can make shavings with. Strike it with a ferro rod, it will burn. Excellent tinder source, especially waterproof. And then after that fat wood, we have just a small hank of jute twine to be used as improvised tinder. Dity Bags are great in their design in that we can just grab natural materials, throw it in the bag, and sort it out once we get back to camp. In this case, we can put horsehoof fungus inside our Dity Bag, saw it up, creating dust, and then use that to get a fire going with natural materials. Even in this Dity Bag, the next item is just going to be another piece or hank of 550 cord that we can use for Firecraft, among other things. The next component for our kit is just a flint and steel set, a piece of high carbon steel in the form of that SE block that we can also use as a bearing block for a bow drill friction fire set, and a hard rock, a form of chert. We can use this to drive sparks off and get that char material lit, put it into a bird's nest, and blow it into flame. It's good to have a ferro rod if it's not on us. Typically in our pockets we should carry a lighter. We can carry as many fire starting implements as we want out of the field. In our Dity Bag we just have that small ferro rod we can use with that 90-degree spine, the back of our knife to drive sparks off and ignite tinder. Another great kit component is just a match safe with a variety of matches. We have stormproof and just regular matches, as well as strike anywhere matches that we can use to strike off of any surface to get that match going and start a fire. We have that cotton ball on top to help prevent the matches from rolling around and to act as emergency tinder using that small ferro rod at the bottom of that match safe. A classic that we can use again with charred material and perhaps natural material that will combust easily is just a simple fire piston. We place that charred material or that tinder at the plunger, pop it in the actual cylinder itself. It'll compress, creating heat, igniting that tinder that we can apply to a larger tinder bundle and blow into flame to get our fire. And that last item that is on the bottom of the Dity bag to act as protection as well as extra tinder sources is just a 100% cotton cravat with a sail needle to use for repair as well as for that fire piston to get that tinder out. As you can see, it's quite the robust fire kit that fits inside this small leather Dity bag. We just put all the components inside, cinch it up, throw it in our kit, and we're ready to go. These Dity bags are in a design shaped like a tinder bag. A tinder bag is simply just a bag that is one compartment with a drawstring or some sort of cinch on it using a leather thong, where we just grab different tinder material from around the area and throw it in these bags as we see it, gathering resources as we move. And so these style of bags are traditionally for tinder and gathering materials, but they're also great for our kits. In this case, with this larger, thicker bag that is more robust and a little bit stronger and provides more protection, we use that for our fire tinder. Great use for these bags, showing or demonstrating the versatility of these bags, is for food items for camp. We can keep our food items in these bags well protected and use them at camp to make a meal. And now we're going to put our kit into action while we're out here in the woods. We walked out here without any fresh water, and so we're going to have to treat that water to make it safe to drink in order to make some coffee. We're going to use that millbank bag from our sustainment Dity pouch to strain the water initially and get a lot of the sediment, turbidity out of that water and help treat it as best as possible before we boil it over a fire inside of our 1 quart bush pot to make it safe to drink and actually make that coffee for breakfast. Now the first step with this millbank bag is that we want to soak it in the water first. What this does is allows the water to get into the fibers of the bag itself, expand the fibers, and increase the actual straining effect of the millbank bag itself. Once we have that, now we can just fill up the bag as best as possible, get it all the way to the top, and most millbank bags are going to have a line somewhere on that bag near the top, and what that is a fill line. Once the water gets down to that line on the bag, we can now place our bush pot or our canteen cup, whatever, underneath that dripping water and begin to collect that water and then go treat it over a fire. All right, now that we got our water collected, we're going to get a fire going inside our stove we brought out with us, and we made our own homemade tinder using paraffin wax and lighter fluid that you would use with a grill with charcoal. We just crack that open, light it with our lighter, shove it in, and begin piling our fuel right on top. The trick to making a good cup of cowboy coffee is to leave the water cold after we got it from the millbank bag. Leave the water cold and add the grounds to that cold water. We're going to use our yellow birch carved wooden spoon here and put the grounds in, about 2 spoonfuls, and then we're going to put that bush pot with the grounds and water on top of the fire to heat up together. We're going to place that bush pot with the water and coffee grounds right on top of the fire. And luckily enough, this 1 quart bush pot fits right inside the top of our stove so we can get that maximum heat. And what we're doing is just simply warming up that water, bringing it to a boil to, again, warm up the coffee grounds with it and begin extracting all of the good flavor. And what we want to do is stir occasionally to get the coffee grounds off the side of our bush pot. But then we want to lift the bush pot up over the fire. Once we see that boil start to happen, we want to boil for about a minute, but we don't want it to froth over and extract too much of the bitterness. We want that sweet coffee flavor and we hold it up, and once we have about a minute done, we remove it from the heat, place it off to cool to the side of our fire. Now, I usually don't make food or cook food or prepare anything in my videos. One, because I'm not a very good cook, and two, because I really haven't gotten into that genre or that category of survival and bushcraft as a lot of others have. And I thought we'd dabble in it today, dip our toes in, get a little bit wet, and use our skillet with our stove and fire to make one of the most basic things that we can make that doesn't require a lot of skill, and that is bacon and eggs to go along with our hot coffee that we made previously. So we're just going to put some butter in the skillet. This is an 8-inch skillet from Self-Reliance Outfitters. Throw in the bacon, throw in the eggs. We're going to put it over the fire and hope for the best. Not going to lie, kind of digging cooking food out in the field for you guys. Just the setup and the practicality of it. Plus, this is a basic meal, so there's not too much involved. And that trapper knife or that spare knife we have from Case works well with cooking bacon like this. Now, to get on the soapbox a little bit, I think it would behoove us, using Sergeant Major's words, to learn how to cook out in the field, because it may not be too long before we all find ourselves in a situation where we may have to cook over an open flame and cook food that we either bring with us or that we harvest off the landscape, whether it be from trapping or hunting. But cooking that food, making it edible, dare I say tasty, to actually consume is an important process that we should probably all seek to learn. Now, besides learning how to cook in the field over an open flame, we need to learn how to take care of our cookware, sanitize it as best as possible, and clean it so we can use it the next time around whenever we harvest game off the landscape, or we bring food with us, or find different resources or food to eat and cook in our cookware. A great way that is a Boy Scout level skill to clean our cookware is to use dirt and maybe a little bit of water to scrape out all the grease, all the leftovers, anything that could harbor or create bacteria or any pathogens that might make us sick the next time around we use this cookware. We need to clean that out. So we can use dirt, just simply scrape up some of the dirt from where our fire was, using charcoal as well to help clean out that cookware. And all we do is rub that dirt around until it is clean. We scrape out all the burnt areas or anything left behind. And we can even use a little bit of water to wash out or flush that cookware to make it safe and bring it back to new. Alright guys, this is a very down and dirty video today. Dity bags, and then a lot of camp craft as far as cooking, cleaning cookware, and using different implements with inside of our bushcraft kit to sustain ourselves, make some coffee and some food out in the field. I really hope you like this video. A change of pace from my usual stuff. If you did like this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment in the comment section. I always appreciate your feedback. I want to thank you guys for everything you do for me, for this channel, for your likes, your views, your subscriptions, your comments, your feedback, and your shares. And I'll be back with another video as soon as I can, guys. Thanks.